of retiring with a lot of money in I hate these segues.
Great segue.
Speaking of retiring with a lot of money in his pockets, Mookie Betts this week signed a $385 million contract before playing a single game in a Dodger uniform. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the Dodgers are making a grave mistake, but it's their money.
They?
It's not mine. Yes, they are. Yes. You know
They've
what?
got a window.
Mookie
This
Betts,
is the window.
great. If
Hold
they
on.
want to win,
Hold on. No, I already got to stop you. I already got to stop you.
okay.
I don't know how long they're going to have they've got Cody Bellinger for 3 more seasons, including this one. They've got their pitchers that are aging. Clayton Kershaw's getting older. His back's getting worse.
Right.
They've only got a small window left. They're trying to extend their window by also signing the top 5 talent in the league.
I got to stop you right there. I don't know if Mookie Betts is a top 5 talent. I will contend to this day that he is extremely overrated. And for whatever reason, I still don't know. I don't know why everybody hypes him up. Okay, 2 years ago, when he won the AL MVP, he played in 136 games. Chicago people will remember, I said this on my show, Carlos Quentin in 2008 was the AL MVP favorite. Broke his wrist 134 games in, and he was essentially eliminated from ever getting any consideration. So why is it that 10 years later, a guy who plays in essentially the same amount of games gets the award? Mike Trout played in more games and did better, did not win the award. Mookie hit 346, yes, in limited time. He played in 136 games. So I will contend that the MVP should not have been his. As for other years,
I
no
gotta stop
one
you again.
noticed.
No. I gotta stop you. Carlos Quentin, I pulled it up after you brought it up. In 2008, played 130 games and had a 5.3 WAR. Only a 5.3 WAR. Do you want to know how big? That's good, but MVP
That's
WAR is 8 and above. Mookie Betts in 136 games, and might I remind you, the team won 108 games that year. He had a 10.6 WAR in 136 games. He was on pace to put up one of the best seasons of all time. Now, in any event, let me read you through his career stats. His stats, he's batting 300 over a 7-year career. He is averaging 26 stolen bases a year. For the past 5 years, I mean, this one excluded, for 4 years,
right?
He's averaged 30 home runs with 45 doubles, over 100 runs. He's playing a fantastic center field. He is a 30 home run, 300 hitter, putting up an average of 96 RBIs over 162 games while playing the best or second best center field in the game. And you want to tell me he's not top 5?
Explain to me. No. Explain those numbers. I'll be honest with you, Daniel. Those numbers are not eye-popping, though. Does he deserve $35, $40 million a year for those numbers that are eventually going to go down? He's at the peak. I don't think
here's
so.
why. With every single one of these massive contracts, there's one common thread. You have to overpay. You have to overpay to get the star. Is he worth $30 million for 10 years, $300 million? I would pay him that. You paid Bryce Harper that, and you want to tell me that Bryce Harper's worth the contract? Even if you don't.
He's not
My
worth the
point
contract.
is that Mookie Betts is putting up from the leadoff spot with one of the best center fielders in the game, 30, 100, and batting 300. His OPS plus for his career is 133.
That's great.
He's batting first. He's going to give you, besides that 1 year, he's played 145 games at least every single season.
Here's my question. Go back to 2017. That's the Mookie Betts I knew and respected before the mainstream baseball world latched on to Mookie Betts. I remember, because I'm a baseball fan and I actually look at stats every day, Betts, I believe it was 2016, hit 180 plus hits, only hit 18 home runs. He was the leadoff hitter that I thought he was going to be. Then he turned into this power threat, and everybody kind of latched on the Mookie Betts bandwagon, and his WAR started to go up great. You know what? I remember Mookie Betts at that point, and I thought, wow, this guy's pretty good. Now he's hitting 30 home runs, I know, and it's hypocritical to me because everybody's latching on to the Mookie Betts bandwagon when I knew about him from 5 years ago, and I liked the guy I knew about 5 years ago. And now today, I can obviously tell that, yeah, he's getting paid. Yeah, he's good. He's not an MVP. Shouldn't have won the MVP that year. I'll still contend that. And
He
by
batted
the time year
350
three,
with
he hit
30 home
340.
runs.
He hit 340. And by the time
346.
year 3 or 4 comes of his contract, he is going to be on. He's already on the downturn. Look at last year. Look at last year compared to the MVP season, and look at where he is today.
295 with 30 home runs, and he led the league in runs scored with an OPS of 915 and an OPS plus higher than his average for his career.
Okay, well, the year before he had 346. Now he's going down to 297. Dude, that's
Wait,
a
hold
50
on.
point
You're
drop.
expecting him to bat 350 for his entire career?
I'm not, but I'm expecting him to still be somewhere near that mark, 320, 310. He's already on the downturn. The Dodgers are paying a guy who's already started to decline. And by year 3 or 4 of his contract, well, yeah, maybe they'll win a World Series, but by year 3 or 4, they're already going to be regretting this. And I still can't believe that he's never played a game for them, or at the time he never played a game for them, and they paid him $400 million essentially. It's insane.
That's the part that's shocking to me. It's the fact that he didn't play a game and he wants to be there for 13 years.
Right.
They haven't seen him play a game and they want him to be there for 13 years. Either way, you look back at that 2015 year, he still finished 19th in MVP voting. He didn't have a power surge yet, but he batted 290, which is actually worse than he batted just last season. He had 18 home runs, you're right. Still had 40 doubles, 170 hits, and almost 100 runs scored. Again, while playing a fantastic center field. Because in 2015, he still had a 6 WAR. He has not had below a 6 WAR for 6 seasons.
Well, WAR is misleading, though, Daniel. We've talked about this a number of times.
No, but his value as a center fielder on that team, a team that is poised to now make a World Series run for at least 3 or 4 years, has now gotten, if not a top 5, a top 20 player. If you want to even go there, I mean, can you name 20 players better than Mookie Betts right now?
He's a top 20, not a top 5. And he's not
worth
the money. Maybe 10. Maybe
you're complaining about
10.
him being ranked 5 to 10 as opposed to 1 to 5?
Yeah, it's a big difference because the pay is different. He's being paid like he's the best player in baseball. Obviously,
no, he's being paid like he's entering his prime on a team that has a lot of money to pay him and a team that not only has a lot of money to pay him but also has a window to win the World Series. All those factors combined means that he's worth that money.
The one contention I will say is that I don't believe he's entering his prime. I believe he's already reached his prime. Maybe he has 2 more, 3 more years of replicating what he did last year in the MVP year, yes. But I don't think it's going to get any better for Mookie Betts. That's just me. It can't get much better than 346 in 136 games. So I don't know.
No, of course it can't get that much better than that one season. But the point is that he is entering peak years as a collective, and those are going to be years where the Dodgers need someone in center field to be an MVP caliber player. You got Cody Bellinger in right. I mean, depending on where you want to put him. Right. You got Jock Peterson in the left. You got Kike Hernandez, whoever you want to put in the outfield. You've got a team that's poised to make runs. You need that extra piece clearly to get over the hump because the Dodgers have not won. Why would you have him? Plus, also, you're going to now throw away. You got rid of Alex Verdugo, and you're shelling out $60 million to David Price. You're going to let all that slide by without signing Mookie Betts? You're going to sign him. You're going to pay him a lot of money to keep him there. You got to pay him the big bucks.
You're right. I think they overpaid. I think he is overrated. Whether WAR wants to state it or not, I will say it. And I think by year 3 or 4, they're probably going to regret this deal. But you know what? If they win a World Series,
and if they won a World Series,
it doesn't matter.
Will they regret it? It doesn't matter.
No, they won't. You're right. You're 100% right. You know what? They won't regret it. Even when he's 39 years old, puttering around the field, and they're still paying him $30 million, if they do win it once, they probably won't regret it. So I guess it's worth it from a Dodgers standpoint. But if we're talking about basic skill, talent, and the money he was actually paid, I think it was a bit overpriced. That's just me.
You know, the Yankees this year are paying 3 players nearly $100 million combined. But if they win this year, they're not going to care. I'm sorry, $100 million before the prorated division.
Right.
They're not going to care. The Dodgers have the same sentiment and mentality right now. If they can win, paying Kershaw $30 million, paying Betts a lot, paying Price to sit out. I don't think he's getting paid. But if they can pay all of these guys and win, They haven't won since what? In the 80s? 87 maybe?
89?
89?
80, yeah.
That will be worth it.
I agree.
When the Yankees win the World Series this year with Garrett Cole on the bump, Stanton in left, and Tanaka sitting on the bench paying him $25 million, it's going to be worth it. It's worth it to pay to win. And that is why the Bryce Harper contract is the worst contract in baseball history, because the Phillies will never win. They have no chance to win with that team, and they just threw money down the drain. Anyway,
Now
that
I could fully, that Harper contract was horrible. A guy who all of a sudden can't hit for average and gets whatever it is, $25 million for 10 years. Yeah, now that was a horrible deal. We'll have to see. Time will tell if this contract will be worth it. So we'll have to see what happens.
What was worse, by the way, in your opinion? Garrett Cole's contract or Mookie Betts' contract? Because Garrett Cole's a little bit older. They're paying him $36 million a year. It's only 9 years, though.
I would have to say Cole's a bit, because Cole is older. And again, what he did last year was outstanding. The way I look at it is, if you're at that point, you can only go down. It's not like you can get any better. You know what I mean? So if the Yankees are paying him for 9 years and that amount of money, he can only go down. He can either replicate what he did the year before, which, yeah, could be the case for a year or two, but then it's going to be completely downhill. So in that case, yeah, the Cole one by a nose. But that being said, the Betts one I don't think is that much smarter either. But again, if both teams end up winning, I guess it doesn't matter. If they don't, then we'll talk about a real problem, though.
Yeah, I mean, the hope for both teams is that players, Garrett Cole turns out to be Verlander, where into his late 30s he's great. And on the Betts side, he turns into Nelson Cruz, who, as he gets older, is somehow becoming a fine wine. I mean, these guys, hopefully those guys or that's at least what the front offices are hoping for, is that these players maintain their numbers until the late 30s and they can have a 10-year window. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And that'll do it for us today, too, here at Corner Booth Sports. Appreciate you tuning in. A lot of heated conversations today, a lot of fun topics to talk about, too. Remember, you can follow us and subscribe right here on YouTube. And now you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. We partnered with Anchor. We're up on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, wherever you get them. So if you don't have time to watch us, but you want to hear us, go to one of those sites and rate us and follow us and review us. We'd really appreciate it. But Daniel, thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate this time. Always fun chatting. Always fun.
It was a pleasure. I'll look forward to seeing what happens next week.
That's right. Another episode coming next week. So stay tuned for that. Until then, thank you all for watching and listening